Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday, June 3rd meeting of the Norton Planning Board. The public is welcome to participate in person or remotely. In person, we are here at the Norton Town Hall at 72 East Main Street in the Crane Room. You can also join online via the Zoom link listed in the agenda. Please feel free to email questions to the board ahead of the meeting, addressed to B. Carmichael at nortonmaus.com. I will call this meeting to order. We'll start with planning board business and policies. I believe we have nothing to discuss at this point. Bills and warrants. Paul, you have a couple bills to pass down?
We do.
And we currently don't have any minutes to approve. On the agenda, executive session is listed as first. We are going to take our 3 A&Rs first and get those out of the way so no one's waiting while we are in executive session. First A&R, the agenda is A&R 15 for 80 Rear Cobb Street. The owner is George Colossi. The applicant is Level Design Group. The applicant is seeking to adjust 2 existing lots. Paul, do we have anyone representing?
Not that I
No.
see, but
No one
I'll
online?
certainly ask. But you are correct that they're just creating 2 lots. Lot 1, which is the developable lot, which is, it meets the frontage and lot size requirements. It's over 220,000 square feet, and that's well over 150 feet. And then there's Lot 2, which is a remaining area. So that area, I believe from the description, would not be developable, but let me just confirm something. Well, no, it would just be the remaining area, so I don't know that second lot is intended to be developed.
It doesn't look like it. It says remaining area, correct? It doesn't. Is it labeled Lot 2?
Correct, but there is a lot shape factor. And there is sufficient frontage up on Cobb.
There's frontage on Cobb for both, correct?
Correct.
There's still no one in the Zoom to speak about this matter. Does anyone on the board have any questions?
My only concern is, I don't know if we can get an aerial view of that or a map, because I'm not sure how developed the end of Cobb Street is, if it's paved the whole way. It's a legal road, but it doesn't go all the way to the end. But the property I don't have a problem for. I just don't know if the town's gonna be required to pave up to it or anything. Remove any trees, if there.
I don't see any notes on the plan. Paul, do you have any?
No, there weren't any. I'm pulling this up right now. Okay, let me just share this. So this is the parcel here. This and then this back portion. Nope, not that one, sorry.
So there's already a house on the site other than the non-buildable area,
Correct.
or what we think is non-buildable.
Right, but where is the end of the town's pavement there for Cobb Street? It looks like, I mean, you can see the curve, and then it goes up straight forward. That's Old Cobb Street that continues forward beyond the curve. And it goes up to the houses. But I'm not sure how far that dirt road actually goes up. They want the public road to continue all the way up. Does the town have to build up that road that length?
I don't believe this would obligate us.
Like if I can, I think
I know what you're
the
saying.
town
yeah.
road stops right around there, but then we'd have to continue all the way up.
So your concern would be the access to the lot?
The access to the property, do we have to, it's a public way, do we then have to clear it?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I think my perspective would be that the A&R, we're certifying that it has sufficient access. Clearly, they can get to the house now. So I don't think that we're certifying that their access needs to be brought to a certain level. There are certainly dirt roads in town that aren't paved. I'm not sure, Paul, if you have a different opinion.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Steve, are you okay with it?
Yeah, it's. I believe the person who just walked in is from Level Design. If we
You
want to put
looks
them on
like it.
spot.
Are you here for 80 Cobb Street?
Yes.
Perfect.
Perfect timing, huh?
Perfect timing. We threw a curveball at you.
So, good evening, Nick Fasendola, Level Design Group, here representing the applicant for the A&R request at 80 Cobb Street.
So we had one question. Steve, do you want to just ask him your question, please?
So the frontage that you'll be getting is, the frontage is on what was Old Cobb Street before it turned. It's still part of the public way. But there's no roadway there currently, is that correct? It's just like a dirt area that's grown in?
It's not a paved roadway, no.
Is it currently accessible all the way to where your frontage is?
It is accessible, but it's not, it would need to be improved slightly by anybody developing that remaining area.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
Any other questions for the board? Or Nick, is there anything you want to?
Once again, I apologize
No, that's
for
fine.
being a
We're-
few minutes late.
You weren't late. We did have executive session first. We were trying to see if we could knock out a couple A&Rs before we went to an executive session. We weren't sure how long it was going to take,
Okay.
so not keep you waiting.
Nothing else to add unless there's any other questions by the board members.
Any other board member questions?
Thank you.
If no other questions, the chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
motion to endorse A&R 15.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. We are all in person tonight, so I will do a voice vote. Everyone in favor of A&R 15, 80 Rear Cobb Street, say aye.
Aye.
Everyone opposed? Abstain? That's 7-0. Thank you.
We have the Mylars right in front of you, Brian. Is
Well-
that?
We'll sign those at the end of the night and Paul will reach out to you.
We'll go there, Brian. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Next item on the agenda is A&R 16 for 380 Old Colony Road. The owner is Edward Fontenot. The applicant is Rim Engineering. The applicant is looking to create a lot around the house as shown on the assessor's map. I believe we have someone on Zoom, Paul.
Yes,
That is-
Lori Donahue.
Hi, Lori, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Would you like to give us a brief explanation?
Currently, the assessor's office thinks that these are two lots, but apparently back in the 80s, I think it was the father of the current owner, had a survey done but never recorded it. So it was determined when the title was done, when they was trying to sell lot 378, well, not lot, address 378. So the surveyor went out and just made them two lots, like the assessors is showing them as.
So basically, we're cleaning up some possibly old paperwork that never got filed.
Correct.
Yeah, and we can confirm that with the assessor too. We've spoken with the assessor's office.
Anything else you would like to add, Lori?
No, thank you.
Any members of the board have any questions or concerns?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Paul, is Decal Road the one that we undid the subdivision that never happened? Is that, am I recalling that
Yeah,
correctly?
yes.
Is that tied into this whole process?
No.
Or no?
No.
It just
separate
happens to
lots.
be right next to that other confusing paperwork issue?
Right.
Okay.
These are not affected by it, it's different ownership.
Decal Road does not exist. Is that what we came up with?
Yes.
Yes.
It-
Okay.
And now, neither does the subdivision.
Lori, unless there's something else you'd like to add, and board members, any other questions, the chair would entertain a motion.
No, thank you. They just wanted to do this to clean this up, and they're in the process of selling recorded lot 2.
Motion approved, A&R 16.
Second.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I believe for any, it should be a motion to endorse.
Oh, sorry, motion to endorse.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to endorse A&R 16. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you, Lori. Have a good night. We'll sign the plans. Do we have the Mylars? Yes.
We do, we have.
3 milers for tonight.
We'll sign the Mylars tonight, Lori, and then town staff will be in contact with you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Last A&R on the agenda is A&R 17 for 50 Lincoln Street. The owner is George Palilio. The applicant is Silver Engineering Associates. The applicant is looking to divide a lot into 2. Is there anyone on Zoom? No one on Zoom.
No one unmuted.
Well, let's take a look at it. If we have any questions and something we can't hash out, we can bring it back up after executive session in case someone else is waiting till later in the evening.
So Chair, the intent of this A&R is to divide one parcel, which is map 12, lot 29, into a new lot 29A and a parcel 29B. And when you look at 29B, so you can see 29A has frontage and it connects to Lincoln. 29B, the intent, it says here to be combined with abutting land. The property owner owns the parcel to the north of them as well. That's not affected here, but just so you know that the properties, there are, that property to the north is under the same ownership.
So we could possibly see a sale or something in another A&R.
It's
something.
possible.
And if there's still no one on the Zoom call, any members of the board have any questions or concerns? I don't have any issues. I believe we have proper frontage and access to the lot. Unless there's any other questions, the chair would entertain an endorsement of the A&R.
Motion to endorse, A&R 17.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That's 7-0. So in case there's anybody online, I'm going to do some reading right now. The board is going to be going into executive session. Yes, sir?
Brian, would it be preferred if we do the next item before we go to executive session, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. He's going to be here regardless.
Okay, thank you.
Unless there's anybody else that has an objection, the board is going to go into executive session. Are we going to go into a different room, or are we going to be staying in here?
We can either go in there or we stay here and we have to ask Mr. Carmichael and Ben to leave. Ben, I guess, Ben, how difficult will it be if you shut things down if we stay here?
Not difficult.
Okay.
So it would probably just be easier if we could stay here, and Mr. Carmichael has already left. So pursuant to General Law, Chapter 38, 21A3, to discuss strategy relating to pending litigation known as Precern Home Builders LLC versus Griffin et al., Bristol County Superior Court, 2473 CV 00396. If the chair declares that discussing the matter in an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the board, a vote regarding whether to go into executive session is expected, and votes may occur during the executive session. The chair would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I believe we need to do individual roll for going to executive session.
Individual roll call. Thank you.
Jen, do you want to start out?
Rob?
Aye.
Tim?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Aye.
Ken? Yes.
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
That's 7 yeses. That's the perks of having the old chair right next to you at every meeting. Second item is pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, 21A3, to discuss strategy relating to pending litigation known as Premier Fence LLC versus Town of Norton Planning Board, Massachusetts Land Court, case number MISC 000730 KTS. If the chair declares that discussing the matter in an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigation position of the board, a vote whether to go into executive session is expected, and votes may occur during the executive session. The chair would entertain a motion to go into executive session on this matter.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Rob?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
I am a yes. Ken?
Yes.
Bridget?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
7-0. The board will now go into executive session and return to open session when we're finished. Waiting as we return from executive session to open session. The next thing on our agenda is a covenant release correction relative to Balfour Farms covenant release correction. Paul, do you want to give us a briefing?
Yeah, this is just a real quick. Last year, you signed a covenant releasing the lots, a number of lots for work completed at Balfour Farms on Pine Street. However, there was an error. There was a Scribner's error on Form G, and it was referencing an incorrect book and page. And what this is, the applicant has provided us with a corrected covenant release. I should probably just read this into the record that there was a typographical error appearing in the original Form G, the Certificate of Performance, which is, again, the covenant release, that was dated March 12th of 2024 and was recorded with the deeds at book 28779 on page 162, where it incorrectly listed the recording information of the Form F covenant, which was the original covenant, as the incorrect citation was book 27067, page 299, whereas the correct book and page was book 28331, page 223. And so we have the form with the correction identified on it, and Mr. Carmichael, who is a notary, is kind enough to come here tonight to witness if you agree to sign the corrected form. He just needs to observe you signing it, and then he will stamp it, and this will be done.
And Paul, a Scribner's error is just a fancy word for a typo.
Yeah, I should have said typographical. It was a typographical error.
Wrong book and page number.
Wrong book and page number.
Does board members have any questions?
And I've confirmed it is the correct. I went on there and confirmed that that Form F is on page 223.
I'm good with it. If anybody else has any questions, we don't need to vote, do we? Do we need to vote on it? Would you like a vote?
Do.
So the chair would entertain a motion to correct and sign the new Form G for Balfour Farms with the correct book and page number.
So we're no way, this is something already previously voted for.
This is
We're
a
no
prog-
way, and we're no way going again.
We're not
Changing
changing anything. We're
Correct.
not, it's already under construction. It simply is
Yeah.
a wrong reference number.
So we're voting corrected typo.
correcting a typo.
That's an easy yes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So we're gonna sign this all in front of Mr. Carmichael quick, and
Yes.
he's gonna notarize it.
Yeah.
Where's that, just the chair?
So, no, Alan's gotta do this one, so I'll do it right here, right?
Do we need them all,
That's
or
it.
is it just me?
Did they all have to sign?
My page has all
They
of
all have
us.
to sign?
Yeah, this original had all
So I
of us
just
on
hit
it.
this line right here, right?
Yeah.
Just don't sign where the chair is.
No, that's Alan's up here. So, but where I have the pen is the right spot, okay. It's ink, I just wanted to hear for sure.
Is there one copy?
That's yours?
Yes, one copy.
Do you want them all in the same pen? Do you care?
Oh, I don't care.
I already broke that. So.
Oh, sorry.
She's going to sleep probably. These are great ones. She let Matt back in.
I didn't need to get in that bad.
Unless they go back to putting stuff on the screen, it actually doesn't matter. That's the main reason I do this, because when you put stuff on the
Is that
screen,
blue?
it's easier
No.
to see it.
That looks like pink to me.
This is black.
Oh, is it black? You can do black or blue.
Okay.
I just saw pink, so.
There's
No,
two-
it's a
is there
black.
two
It's a
notaries in
black.
town hall normally?
Yeah, well, not,
Yeah.
well, Jenny's one and Jill. the clerk.
Just got this one too.
Must have been Jenny who watched me sign something.
She signed that last one.
Yeah.
The one with the wrong site, she signed it.
I forget what I had. I signed in front of her. Back in
Good.
the old town hall.
Mr. Carmichael, we thank you.
Sure, no
So you
problem.
can really we'll get done quickly so we can go home.
Sorry for keeping you so long.
Oh, no, that's-
We,
Brian said he'd be here regardless. That's why I said before we go into executive session, if
Yeah.
we want to do that first.
I still feel bad.
And Brian's probably making him drive home.
You know, I
No,
was-
I'm driving him.
Brian said he was buying dinner too, I heard that. I don't know.
Heard that too.
Actually, I didn't know about this until he came to dinner.
Yeah, this was,
Thank you for being flexible.
we had to make a number of phone calls to figure out who
Brian, do we
could
owe
do
it?
this, because it would have been that you would have been coming back to town hall later this week to sign it in front of Jenny, so this was a wonderful, wonderful,
She's. They didn't make it past you.
Gotcha.
There's 2 copies of everything.
So do we owe Brian money for taking him out to dinner?
No,
No, okay.
you can donate all your
So
planning.
I'm
board
just passing
salary.
down bills.
All right, so you all done?
This is,
yes.
Boy, I joined this.
no, we don't have to sign it, you can just look at it.
Wonderful.
This is, we're authorizing an invoice, but this was paid under a grant.
Oh.
There's grant funding for our recodification.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Carmichael. Next item on our agenda is review and vote on draft decisions for definitive plan DEF 1 and special permit 2119 Rock Lane, owner Field Engineering. The applicant is seeking to make 3 lots, with 2 of the lots duplexes getting built. And Paul, we have some further issues to discuss.
Yeah, not really issues. Some of the items that you had asked for, such as the access easement and the limits on the number of units, we're working with town council. They just didn't have a chance to get it done for tonight. I've talked with the applicant about this. They were fine. They want to be able to get time to review it along with the covenant and, a possible deed. They're still just putting that together. There's no challenges. It was just getting the time to do it. But I was hoping just to step you through the timeframes on this, because subdivisions are a bit more complex than special permits or site plans. But so all goes to plan. June 17th, you will have the certification of action, or certificate of action, and the special permit. Just because they both have 20-day appeal periods, let's just do them once and go through one 20-day appeal period. The 20-day appeal period will end July 8th if we sign it on the 17th, and then we get it stamped by the clerk and get it out the next day. So post July 8th, post 20-day appeal period, then the applicant will bring back the final definitive subdivision plan for you to sign, along with the covenant and any other legal documents dealing with these additional conditions. So again, you won't see you won't be signing the plan at your next meeting. We have to wait until it goes through the appeal period, and that's following the subdivision control law and our own subdivision regs. So if you were so you'll just sign it then, and then
Oh, you said they want to increase the number of units, or?
No. I'm sorry if I misspoke. You all had a condition to say that you could have no more than 2 units on each lot in perpetuity.
Yeah, it was gonna be 2 duplexes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But there was a condition added specifically to say you would do no more than that, so that'll
Can't do
be,
multifamily.
So
yeah,
it's just town council making
This
sure
is-
the wording makes sense.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but we're not changing what our rule is.
No, I'm not changing any of it. It's just, it's
You have to sign
making
this,
sure
Eric.
we're airtight with it.
Okay. The
I'll show you.
plan remains 2 duplexes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're not changing anything.
So we'll finish talking about the next meeting and
Yes.
go from there. Final item, discussion, scheduling for the zoning bylaw recodification.
Should we just
Couple-
sequester ourselves in a resort somewhere?
No, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good idea.
So right off the bat, I had said to Paul, and I think Tim, we gotta go through everything again in open meetings, but let's not do it all at one. Let's break it up into what it makes sense into a few different meetings. And hopefully the agendas aren't too long and we can go through them in a reasonable time. So
Paul, you're gonna share something on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've come up with, I hope, a reasonable schedule. I mean, not knowing exactly when, okay, I don't know why that's not sharing it.
I see it.
I'm seeing it just fine.
Oh, it's just because the.
It's there.
Screen
The
behind
screen,
you.
it's,
I don't know what
It's
it's
in
well,
Zoom.
anyway, so,
It's that laptop's going.
I get it.
So just following what the directions you all had at the last meeting, my thought was you could see the schedule laid out here, that at our next meeting, we would focus on, generally the first sections would be the general administrative sections. So this would be 1 through 5, and then section 10, which is the enforcement, but not include the use table, which is part of, I think, section 5. Because I think at the next meeting after that, we would want to talk about the use table and definitions. Because as you know, as our conversations went, we typically had both of those going at the same time. And then the third meeting we would have would be the specific regulations, things like the wetland protection, section 6 through 10. So I was trying to group it by themes of it. And then, August 5th or roughly thereabout, we would have the joint meeting to cover, all the major, I just say red line areas, but this would be with select board and with FinCom.
Before we go any farther and I forget, could you just resend us, again, the red line version, the original versions maybe, and the
Yeah.
red line version, just
Yeah, I've got to.
re-email the whole
Yeah.
board, everything, so we have it fresh in our email box and
Yeah, I'm
easy
gonna
to
have to do a
find.
little bit of work because that kept getting modified. but,
Correct, yeah, so we can get the latest red line and the latest,
Yeah, we don't need all the permutations, just where it stands now.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But some of the red lines went away, so I've got to go back and look at a few.
I mean, we had 7 versions at least.
least.
so,
Uh,
yeah.
9, I think, but yeah. But then I also want to make sure that who are we inviting? And certainly the people that spoke at town meeting, I have their emails, I will reach out to them and invite them, and we'll, trying to sell this has been tough, but now we don't have MBTA eating up most of our time. I have a few ideas about branding. Instead of, recodification's not gonna get people here, but maybe something like a zoning refresh or reboot or retool might be a little more attractive and
New Coke.
we're not gonna have access to Mr. Brogowski rewriting this for us, so we're kind of working with the document that we've all created, making modifications from there on.
Right. He said he will help us, you know.
He's
but-
fulfilled his
but
contract.
He's fulfilled it.
He
It
has.
closes out. We actually have to close out the contract, July,
Yeah.
mid-July. But it's all, it's all spent. That was a contract, that was a
No.
grant. It's done. But he did say he would work pro bono. But, you know, obviously that doesn't mean him coming down here, but, you know, I think we should be proud of what we did. And in fact, when we looked, Alan asked me to look back at this. You all met 15 times. 15.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. 15 public hearings on this.
With a joint meeting.
And spent $10,000.
More.
Well, it was more than that. That was the
Okay,
last
that was
part.
that bill.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. So, but we're gonna do better job rebranding this, and, you know.
I think it's gonna help not being with the MBTA, and then the
Yeah.
only other thing that came to my mind that we can possibly do to get it out there is, how do we use the new digital billboards?
Yeah.
And say,
Yeah.
planning board meeting tonight,
I'm
or something like that.
And we have done that in the past, at least out over here.
coming without the MBTA might help you. I'll give you an observation. All those Red Mill Village people you got down there, they voted against this. They kind of shot down this, and they weighed heavily on Elm Street too, so that was a two-edged sword in the end. But
Yeah, but,
it is what it is. Yeah.
so I've tried to lay out a schedule based on what, you know, based on last year's fall town meeting. I mean, this will be, you know, within a couple weeks of actual dates, but I think it's doable. But, you know, as I looked at this, I'm like, wow, this is another 5 meetings before you even transmit to make your recommendation.
We only have 8 meetings until town meeting, plus or
Yeah, and
minus,
pretty
so-
much all of them are this.
Exactly.
But if we take, you know, we could try to consolidate it more, but that just becomes,
I think that we're gonna have plenty going forward.
yeah.
I don't think, unless anyone disagrees, I don't think you wanna take the whole bylaw on one night, or
Oh,
half the
gosh, no.
bylaw. Right.
I think this is fair enough, given that we only have X amount of dates, and we're gonna have
This is
other things
good.
that are.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's it.
Make a comment.
Yes, sir.
I would just say, we can run through these. We've run through them repeatedly, as Paul said. There may be sections that we want to review again. Barring widespread public comment, I don't see a whole lot of things that we're gonna try and actively change from what we have on paper right now. If everybody can speak if they feel like something's out of whack, but
Everyone's got homework again to, as soon as they send it out, reread the
Yeah.
product that we have.
We just talk about the red line versions of each of these sections.
If I know someone who loves to come in here and rewrite these things, and I get these things, can I give it to them and just say, dude, can you give us your information up front?
We
Instead of
have,
showing up at
we have,
town
an-
meeting with it.
we have a
Right.
board policy, we would like all information the week or Thursday at least before
Yeah.
meeting so we can digest it.
Say, if I know somebody that, you know, we do all this work and then they're gonna come down to town meeting with a different written.
They're all public hearings.
I would like to
We're all
kind of
open
try
to
and
the public.
encourage him to partner with us a little bit.
Kim knows where to find us.
Yeah. No, but you know where I'm going
He'll be
here.
invited.
He knows how to find us.
You know where I'm going here. Wouldn't you like to have him come down here and work with us and give us his thoughts? Then we do it that way.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I
sir.
would rather have him not show up and then me say that you came to none of these public hearings, so I don't trust what you have to say at this point. He hasn't come to a meeting in a year. So,
Yeah, he's been paying attention, but I still think, yeah, we need
no.
to.
I mean,
Bridget,
if
did
he
you-
wants to come down, he's welcome to come down and
I'll try
participate.
and solicit the input.
You know,
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Bridget.
Paul, you asked who else we should invite. I know that we're gonna do a joint meeting with FinCom and Select Board, but I think that we should also maybe send out the invite to some of the public hearing meetings as well, to make sure they're well, I know they're publicly posted, but
to invite them to.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I know that it's public information, we post them, they're on the town website, people post them on their own accord, but just, make sure they know.
I might just send him this.
That also works.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this something you could put in front of them Thursday, since you're going in front of them anyway? Could you reach out and
Well, there's nothing on there regarding recodification. I'm going up there for a couple other things.
I'm just thinking, can you still add to the agenda or modify the agenda
I can
saying
see.
a recodification schedule? Just because we are in limited time, just for,
Yeah.
if not, I'll send it to them as a courtesy.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They can just get it as a
I don't
courtesy.
want to hear again, we didn't know what was going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's-
Adding the dog was a nice touch.
He looks mean.
It is cute though.
No, I like dogs. I think that turns some no votes to yes, right there.
Anybody else? Paul, do you have anything else? No, you want to talk about the renaming, rebranding, or?
If you have other ideas, I am not a marketing person.
Okay, do we have a list of the objections? I remember 3 from town meeting, but maybe because I got really focused on those, but do we have a list of actual objections?
Town council said all of them didn't make sense with current case law,
None of
so.
it made sense at all, but that's not the point, because the people making sense voted for it. If the minority, it's a minority.
So one of them was brought up, it was an omission regarding the stormwater management section. We actually did ask E-Code to add that section in. They never did, and unfortunately, I never brought that to Mark's attention, so it was an omission, but I've added it here, so I'll let Mr. Cogliano know, but he's one of the, since he spoke, he's someone I'll ask to come to these
I'm just
meetings.
saying, if we can publicly address the issues as we go along.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just wanna
absolutely.
make sure that's
We have-
included with the emails and stuff. Because, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with all the objections, even if they don't show up, if we address them.
Right.
I think so. We have the meeting recording. We go through it and make a list.
Well, we captured some of them, but again, I think it's just gonna be good for them, for us to invite them here.
Do you want one of us to suck it up and take the homework assignment? It's like a 4-hour meeting. Seriously.
Well, we're gonna have other items
I'll
on
put
there,
myself
so
down.
you're gonna have
I'll
to-
go ahead and watch it and write down what all the objections were. And then we can come in and discuss the
It's up
list.
for me to say.
No, but I mean, just come in with
If-
a list for you guys then to say, yeah, we agree with this one, we don't with this one, but then we've at least covered what everybody said.
If you'd like to review it, you certainly can.
Absolutely.
It's been years since I've done this. I usually assign a staff member to it.
How about a new name? Anybody want to suggest, or we want to think about how we want to rebrand it? Not call it recodification?
Zoning bylaw update. Is that vague enough?
It's pretty vague, pretty simple.
I actually like it, but I like anything other than the word recodification.
Then nobody can say, well, this is beyond the recodification. It's an update.
Want to work with that now? If anyone else on the board, and then if we have any other ideas, someone has a brilliant idea, let's bring it up at the next meeting.
A bylaw for the 21st century.
Ooh, now you're getting creative.
Honestly, I keep thinking like modernization, but I think that'll have a big scary word.
That's not good.
So that's, so I'm honestly, bylaw update.
Zoning bylaw
Update
update,
it,
okay.
But let's
Oh,
let's
but
give
that
us what to think about it. 'Cause,
So,
My
Paul,
feeling is we leave it as straightforward as it was to what it was the previous time. Like, you said you didn't have time to read this, and you think we shoved it in front, we was trying to sneak something in. It's the same thing.
that's a good point.
That's,
That is one of the points. I thought that one was pretty unfair.
oh, I knew it was gonna happen anyway. I knew they were gonna say, how are we supposed to read this? I'm like, no, you're supposed to,
I
A,
read
have
it
shown
like
up
5
or.
times by then. We had a person who had already actually read it and rewrote his own version.
Oh, yeah.
He had time.
Oh, yeah.
No one says it's fun.
No, no, I
He
knew,
had time.
I knew that objection was coming, and I
Oh,
wasn't surprised
yeah.
at all. So, I mean, that's my, if we wanna switch to update or whatever, I have no objection, but. Yeah.
I don't think a pretty name is gonna make much of a difference, so just
Yep.
update is simple.
Yeah.
Paul, June 17th is our next meeting. What's the, is there a full agenda? How are we looking?
Well, you may be having a joint meeting with Historic District Commission over at Village Center Core.
Over the project or the core itself?
I think it's both over 10 West Main, which is still with the Historic District Commission, and overall about Village Center Core and how it's applicable to the historic district. We do have 260 South Washington, that's a new one. That's a new site plan and special permit. That's the only new one, and then we have 360 Old Colony that's coming back. I
The
think
shed
that's-
in the back of that lot.
Yeah,
The continued hearing.
yeah.
So-
So you need to make a decision, well, on that one, you would need to either make a decision, or if it gets continued, we have to then extend the date by which you have to issue a decision, because your
It's been open for a long time.
65 days is coming up at the end of June. So that's, and there's another special permit, but I don't think that's been processed for the sign. It's an electronic message center.
So they're gonna go in July.
Yeah, so that won't be on, so
Yeah.
I don't think it's that big of an agenda.
Anything else, Paul?
No, it's,
Members?
No, I'll do that thing, I'll listen to the recording, write down the questions. What I'll do is just give them, I'm gonna send them to Paul.
Fast forward to the end.
Yep.
The chair would love to entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
I'll just send it to you,
Aye.
you can send it back.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Good night, thank you.